Looking ahead, the Myanmar Empire collapsed about 2,200 years ago. In its palace and elsewhere rose several new kingdoms in the northwest and in parts of North India. Kings known as the Indo-Greeks ruled for about 100 years. They were followed by a central Asian people known as the Sakas who set up kingdoms in the north and western India. Some of these kingdoms lasted for about 500 years till the Saks were defeated by the Gupta's kings. The Saks in turn were followed by the Kushana about 2000 years ago. You will learn more about the Kushans in chapter 10. In the north and in parts of central India, central of the Murans named Vishtimitra Sungas were followed by another dynasty known as the Kanvas and by rulers from other families till the establishment of the Gupta's empire 1700 years ago. A Kushan's coin, look at Indo-Greek coin. The Shakas who ruled over part of western India fought several battles with the Satvans who ruled over western and parts of central India. The Satvahana kingdom, which was established about 2100 years ago, lasted for about 4000 years. About 1700 years ago, a new ruling family known as the Vaktankans became powerful in central and western India. In the south India, the Cholas, Chars and Padmayus ruled between 2200 and 1800 years ago, and about 1500 years ago there were two largest kingdoms of the Palwas and the Chukyas. There were several other kingdoms and kings as well. We know about them from their coins and inscriptions as well as from books. There were other changes that were talking a palace in the which ordinary man and woman played a major role. This including the separate spread of agriculture and the growth of traders explored land routes within the East Africa and South Africa. Asia were also opened up and many new buildings were built, including the earliest temples and book were written and significant discoveries were made. These developments look palace stimulatory. The kings keep it this in mind. Read the rest of the book.